All right, all right, all right, all right. I don't know if there's anybody out there. Hopefully somebody pops in because I want to talk about this. This is absolutely 100% a spoiler type of thing. I just got back from the theater. Here's my cup. Yeah, I bought the tins because I can't stop myself because that's how I am. Fanatic that way, you know. Let me get that in the frame, though, maybe. Anyway, I just got back. Went to the 10:30 IMAX. And it's one of those things. I was buying a single ticket and you get to choose your seat. And when I picked, there was a single seat right dead center in the first row above the walkway. And I'm like, well, shit, man, that's just begging for me to go out there and grab it. So I did. Hey, Luis Ramirez, how are you? Hey, Luis, I'm going to be dropping some spoilers, bro. I appreciate you coming in. I hope you saw it. I just came home and I wrote down just, bullet points. And I ended up with 16 bullet points of things, about the movie that I want to go over because I just got to get them off my chest. So overall, did I enjoy it? Yes, absolutely. I enjoyed the movie. Hey, Bob World, thanks for stopping in, man. I'm gonna be dropping some spoilers on you. So if you don't want to hear about it, I love you. Come check it out afterwards. But I'll tell you, I did enjoy it. There was a lot of things that were for the fans. As I go through my bullet points, I mean, these are things that are like for the fans, and it makes me question, if Abrams wrote the first one and he wrote the third one and they let this guy write the middle one, did they kind of have an idea of what they wanted to do? I don't know. I think the story was a little outlandish. I think some of the twists and turns were a little crazy. But there were so many good things that they did, again, for the fans, I think, first and foremost, we find out what's up with Rey. We find out. I've been talking to my daughters about this. I want to know for a long time, what's your story? Before I left for the theater, my daughters and I, we laid down a little bet on what did we think. And I said, I was betting that she was Luke's daughter. That was my bet. And she said, no, she thinks it's Leia's daughter. I said, okay, Luke or Leia's daughter. Either way, I'm going with that. Obviously, she's got a bunch of force powers, so she's got it. It's just nobody. That whole your parents are junk traders type thing. There's no way. So early on, you get to find out what it is. So, spoiler alert: she's Palpatine's granddaughter. Yes, Emperor's granddaughter. Which works. That's fine. I don't care what it was, as long as it was something. It was, as long as it just wasn't left open as to, your parents were nobodies. I'm okay with that. Not what I wanted, not my choice, but I'll take it because it helps tie this crazy story together because it was pretty crazy, man. And I'm going to go through bullet points. That was my number one bullet point, Palpatine's granddaughter. And then my next bullet point was the fact, spoiler, I'm telling you, spoilers all over Joey Bag of Sevens. I'm telling you, I don't know if you saw it, go see it. It was amazing. It was amazing visually. I mean, the story is crazy, man. Some of the stuff that you see, you're like, man, that was kind of not kind of silly. There was some silly. Let's say there's some silly, but I think there was always some silliness in some of the Star Wars films. But I think they righted some wrongs, definitely righted some wrongs, and coming off the bat with what Rey's heritage is finally. So the other thing I had was there's a scene where Rey displays her, her opening scene. She's floating in the air with all these rocks. I mean, she's crazy powerful. Now, I am going to come to, there is a tie to the Mandalorian, right? Now, if you're watching Mandalorian, which I'm 100%, Star Wars nut, right? So I'm watching Mandalorian, and the tie to the Mandalorian is, the baby Yoda does this heal thing where he's got this, where he heals a wound, and he does it by transferring, some of his force power, which is explained in this because Rey does it. But in one scene, where there's a confrontation between her and Kylo on this planet while she's searching for something. She's searching for a tracker to this planet. She freaking shoots lightning bolts, like, fucking shoots lightning bolts and blows up this carrier, which we think Chewie's on. So at the time, you got this huge, and by the way, this theater is sold out. 100% sold out. There wasn't a seat to be had in this place. 10:30 show, IMAX, sold out. I mean, this is it's not a Baby Yoda. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. So it's not baby. No. I didn't mean to say that. But when the child did that force healing thing, Joey, bag of sevens, thanks. We see that like 3 or 4 times in this, even down to the, one of the major scenes at the end. So she shoots these lightning bolts and you're like, holy shit, dude, she is crazy powerful. I mean, this is something big. And this is before Kylo tells her what's going on. Hey, Barbarian, how you doing, man? I just got home from the theater and I wrote down some quick notes and I wanted to talk to anybody who's out there who saw it, who wants to banter with me. I enjoyed it. I thought the story was kind of crazy, a little out there, some of the things I didn't enjoy, but I think it was a fitting way they ended Leia, and there was a scene where they kind of do like a flashback and they show Luke training Leia, and when they pop the mask, it's a young Luke face, digitally, whatever done, and she pops the mask and it's a young Leia face, and she had bested him. He was on his back and they were doing some Jedi training because I guess he had trained her to be a Jedi. And I'm glad they did that because there was 2 scenes that were important. One, she drops her lightsaber and says she had a vision of her son, and that's why she didn't want to do, basically, I'm not doing this anymore. Well, later on, I mean, she's the one who trains Rey to be a Jedi. And when it's happening, you're like, God, I wonder why Leia knows what to do. Well, she had been through the training. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, man. I mean, it was open there and they didn't do anything with it. And there was, unless, I don't know, because there was a scene where, if you remember, all the voices of all the past Jedi that are all in Rey, and it happened so fast. I mean, I got to go see it again with the kids. Were they in there? Was there what did you hear them? Because you heard Yoda and you heard a couple other people that you recognize. So maybe there was something there. But they did like to tie up a lot of loose ends. So hold on, I'm gonna keep going down here. So this saber that she finds, right? And it's got this inscription to the location of this tracking thing. And C-3PO can read it, but it's in Sith, and he's not allowed to repeat it because of his programming, which is kind of crazy. So they're like, okay, well, we got to find someone to hack into him. And the only way to do it is to reprogram him. So he has no memory. And that was kind of interesting. That was kind of fun. But they get this location, and hold on, let's see what else I got on here. Man, I'm all over the place. But man, when you just come out of the theater and you're like, shit, man, I got to see this again. I wish I almost had the notepad with me. I should have, but you don't want to be that dude. But I should have had a notepad with me because as things were happening, I'm like, okay, mental note. And then you get home and I only remembered 16 of them. Okay. Canon and Shoka was in it. The voices, see? Yes, I knew it. All right. Okay. The Knights of Ren were badass. I totally enjoyed them. So Palpatine lives, obviously, right? You heard, everyone knew that already. Palpatine lives, and all right, Joey. So Palpatine lives, but the way they show him hooked up to this machine was kind of cool, man. It was like a huge, what I write down, Palpatine, impressive cyborg version of him because he's hooked up to this massive thing, that's keeping him alive. And then, come on, man, the Sith, what do you call that? The throne, the Sith throne. That was pretty badass. All right, Knights of Ren, tie into the modern. Okay, so yeah, she picks up. Remember, she took all the Jedi text. So she picked up on the fact that Luke was following something. He was trying to find this Sith planet, I guess. And she's going to pick up on that. You get everything in the fan. You wanted to see the Force Ghost Luke. You do. You see the Force Ghost Luke. And he's kind of funny, of course. And then he pulls I'm going to pull my X-Wing out with the scene that he wasn't able to do so there's lots of tie-ins to earlier movies. So I think J.J. Abrams did a great job with that. Um, Leia's lightsaber was kind of cool, man. And what happens at the very end with those lightsabers, I'll get to that. So there's a couple of scenes where the crowd gets into it. You know, one when we thought Chewie was dead, the whole crowd. And then when you see him, you know, there was 2 transports. When the general says, well, we sent 2 transports and we captured this guy, you're like, oh, okay, so he's not dead. But at the very end, after the whole everything, there's those loose ends that need to be tied up. And one of them is Maz Kanata pulls Chewie aside, and she gives him the medal that he should have got at the end of the first film. I mean, you know, so anyway, so it towards the end, Rey takes both these lightsabers, Luke's and Leia's, and goes back to Tatooine, back to Luke's place in Tatooine, and looks around and decides that she's basically going to bury him, kind of as an homage to them. And she buries him, and someone happens up on her and says, there hasn't been anybody out here in years, you know, what's your name? And she says, Rey. And she says, you know, what's your family name? And Rey turns and looks around, and she ain't gonna say Palpatine, right? And she sees the Force ghosts of Luke and Leia, and she turns and she says Skywalker. And the final scene is that movie poster of Luke, you know, in the background that they kind of tried to reproduce in the first film, you know, with the little kid, his dad as a kid this is Rey on Tatooine looking at the 2 suns and BB-8 next to her, and you're like, you know what? That's a fitting end. It was the way they wrapped it up was cool. Now the craziness that happens in the movie, yeah, there's some crazy, stupid shit that, you know, I mean, but it's a movie. You got to tie the whole thing together somehow, right? The redemption of Ben Solo. You get to see Han Solo again. I mean, they give us everything you want. You get a scene with Han Solo. How can you not be happy about that? Yeah, it's Ben's, you know, you're only a dream. And yeah, he's a dream, but it's like they recreate that scene where Ben kills him, but this time he says, no, you're right. And he throws his lightsaber away. Oh man, I can't wait to see it again. I enjoy the hell out of it. Total spoilers here, man. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'll definitely go see it again. I will tell you there was grumblings because of the story being so kind of funky and outlandish, and you know, there was a traitor amongst the in Kylo's group. There was a traitor, and it was what was that? Huxley, you know. So you kind of saw that coming, you know, when they were going to get executed. So yeah, so there's a couple of scenes. And one chick that Carrie Russell, her character, you know, her popping in and out, that was interesting. You know, I don't understand trying to introduce new characters that are supposed to mean something in the final film. How many times did I cry? I maybe twice. You know, there was a couple times. There was seriously a couple times that I had to, like, you know, like, wow. In the end, when all the ships come, you know, they called for we're going to go send Lando and Chewie to go get some help, and nobody's coming. But when they come, man, you're just like, oh, they came. And I don't know. At the end, I think this, you know, this force transferring and healing factor thing kind of got played up a little too much. And, you know, at the very end, when you get Rey and Ben, and he basically says, you know, okay, I'll give it to you. And you know, he sacrifices himself. So that was the full redemption of Ben Solo, you know, that he ends up dying. So technically the bloodline of Skywalker is dead, you know. And then Rey takes up the name at the end. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff that happened in this movie. You know what thing, you know, you get into the theater and it's packed. I mean, this place is packed. There was over a half an hour worth of trailers, man. That's a long time for trailers. I mean, and I know that, you know, they're all Disney. And that last one, the last trailer, which before the movie starts, is Mulan, which looks like it's going to be pretty good. But man, I looked down, I was like, holy shit, man. 10:15 showing, and I think the movie started at 10:41. So it took a while. Hey, man, sorry, Pop did say hi, my kids at bedtime. All right, thanks for Mark for stopping in. I appreciate you. This is the Rise of Skywalker spoiler review at some ungodly hour in the morning because I just got home and I had to talk about it. And again, I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of great fan service in there. I think J.J. Abrams did a great job giving the fans different scenes, and there was characters from the first film that were in here, that were in and then there were some deaths. People died, of course people are going to die. But overall, man, I think it was pretty good. I mean, I know there's a lot of hate, and there's always going to be people that aren't happy with, they didn't get everything they wanted. But I mean, you can't make everybody happy, Can't make everybody happy. You can't have, what are you going to bring Luke back to life? We got the Force Ghost. I was happy to get that. And interesting that she goes back to that planet, that same planet that Luke was hiding out on, and she burns up the ship and she says, I'm never cutting off this thing. And she goes, that's what you did. And he goes, I was wrong, man. So, I mean, I'd like to see the interviews of Luke, saying that he didn't enjoy this film. Anyway, what if Rey doesn't die? Then I'll say, well, if Rey doesn't die, then you'll save my money. You're not a big fan of Rey, dude. Come on, you got to know Disney's building this character around the girls. My daughters are dressing up like this girl. I mean, it's all about, they're up there battling lightsabers today. They got their lightsabers and they're both fighting over who's going to be Rey. And they haven't even seen the movie yet. Once they see it, then they're going to be like pretending to shoot lightning bolts out of their fingers and shit. So they're definitely building her up as the character. And yeah, she is the one that lives. But like I said, Solo comes around and that was good. Because the two of them, basically put the stand on Palpatine, but it was Rey, and the two lightsabers was badass, dude. That was so badass when she had them both in her hand. And that vision, when she found out that she was a Palpatine, that vision, where the one we saw in the trailer where she's all dark and she's got that one, that scene went on for a little while and it was fantastic. Anyway, man, it is like 2:20 in the morning over here and I've been going all day. And what a day, man. I actually worked this concert last night, and I'm getting off topic, but I got to give it up to the fans of I don't want to say her name wrong, Ariana Grande. I've worked a lot of concerts in my day, guys. I'm an old man, and I've been doing this for a while. And that show last night that I worked for, that she was fantastic. She put on a hell of a show. But her fans were rabid, buying everything. I mean, it was nuts. At the end of the show, there was this huge line, and people were, when they finally got up to the counter, it's like, "What do you got? I want that one in a small." Like, all I got, extra large and double X. I'll take it. You asked for a small. All right, sure. And literally ripping all the displays off the walls. And by the end of the night, there was maybe two. We packed everything up in one box and brought it back to the concessionaire. One box of shit. Sold it all. So the fans, awesome. But I ran that show last night. Went out of these last night. That was the night before last. And got home late. And then got up this morning and, you got to do the girls thing. But the whole day I'm thinking, I got these tickets for tonight. I got these tickets for tonight. I got these tickets for tonight. I couldn't even go on social media today, guys. I mean, you go on YouTube, you saw it. It was just video after video after video after video after video after video after video. And I'm like, I can't watch any of these. I can't watch any of these until I watch this movie. So it was like, and then ready for this one is you're walking up to the theater because this place is packed. People are coming out. People are coming in. As you're walking up to the theater, people are talking about it. So you're like walking up to I walked up to the theater with my ears till I got to the door because I just didn't want to hear somebody walking out going, "Oh my, I can't believe they did blah blah blah," you know, because I didn't want to be ruined. I waited all this time to have it ruined right then. All right, what's that? By the way, you know, thanks for popping in. I'm probably gonna mispronounce your name, but Multac is here. He says, "Yeah, man, digging it." Episode 9, Kylo beat Ray. He's around. I'm satisfied. Yeah, episode 7, Kylo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, the story was kind of crazy, man. It was kind of crazy. How many cups of coffee? I'm only on 2 cups of coffee right now, man. But I got home and I had to make notes. So, but it's all right, man. 2:20 in the morning. I'm probably gonna wrap this up in a couple minutes, guys. I did just want to come on and I haven't been on for a while. And talk about this movie, because then I'm not going to talk any spoilers until, I mean, what's the acceptable etiquette for, because now, you know, I got to do my regular shows and stuff, and now I gotta make sure that I'm not dropping spoilers on stuff, and I don't want the people in the chat to do spoilers, so I'll be asking for no spoilers for like how long do you do that? Do they have like until the opening weekend at least? Like, come Monday, if you haven't seen it, then you're not a fan, so fuck you anyway. I mean, I don't know. People hated Han Solo. I thought it was great. I thought Han Solo was great too. I've mentioned that before. It answered all the questions that I wanted answered. How did he meet Chewie? What was Chewie's real name? At the end, you know why he shot first, which he did. He shot first because that was the training, not the training, but that was the mentor that he was kind of following. And the guy said, "Hey man, I'm glad you shot first because I was going to kill you." So I did enjoy it. Man, 7 seconds. No, I'm seriously, what's the moratorium? Do you think I should not talk about spoilers on my channel? Because starting tomorrow, you know, when I do what am I doing tomorrow? What day is tomorrow? What day is today? No, it's today. Today's Friday. Oh yeah, I got to do a pop-up shop today. So I'm doing a pop-up shop at some point today, and I got to not talk spoilers. So what isn't acceptable? Is it Monday? I'm thinking Monday. I think, or Sunday night. I think Sunday night. If you haven't seen it by Sunday night, no, it is holiday though. I don't know, man. Something to think about. I definitely want to think about that. Man, they get you on the pricing though. So not only do they got the tins, which I went. So you ready for this? I went cheap with the tins. This is the cheap version. I mean, and I don't know what these things cost, but I bought both of them. There's the dark side and the other side. But they had this huge. It's about yay big R2D2, and it was slick because the top of his head, you slid your cup into the top of his head, and then in the front of him, it had a little pull drawer for the popcorn. So, you know, how much is that thing? She's like $50. What? No, I'm not. No. So I think these were like $10 or something, but I definitely wasn't $50. So I had to pass on that one. It said the P bucket for Avengers. Right? This movie was still 2 hours and 30 something minutes. I think it was 2:30. And like I said, the half an hour worth of freaking previews, man. That's just too long. That's just too long. And like Joey, I'm just now seeing the concert was amazing. She was good, and I was surprised. Now I just saw Cher tore the house down, but this kid is she's really talented. I'll tell you what. But in the show, the production of the show is like, dude, it was like Madonna's production. You know, it was nuts. So yeah, and I think she's got one more stop on her tour, and they ain't got nothing left to sell. They're gonna have to be printing up some more shirts or something because they wasn't nothing left. All right, I think I should go to bed because I'm gonna have to get up. These kids are gonna get up. It's freaking early in the morning, and I want to come back and chat with all you peeps tomorrow. You know what? I just want to see if that thing is even there. Oh, they're good, man. I did have one. Scott, thanks for stopping in. You know, I was just dawning on me. I was like, you know what? I never checked the YouTube chat. And if you're on StreamYard, you don't check the YouTube chat, you don't have an administrator. But I got an administrator. Scott's got the blue wrench over there, man. So I appreciate you popping in, man. All right. So, Moltec, I'm not sure if you were popping in because you're a Star Wars fan. If you are, I do talk Star Wars on the late night show. Normally when I'm cursing and drinking, that's my kind of thing, which I'll definitely be doing this show at a regular time, which is more closer to 9 p.m., 10 p.m. West Coast. You know, that 12 a.m. East Coast time. That's the normal time of the show. But since I was going to be out at the watching the movie, I figured I'd just come back and do some shit live. But normally the channel is focused on kind of showing books to be sorted and then selling off books in a pop-up shop and then going live, doing movie preview, reviews and dropping goofy little clips and making people laugh. So, because you never know, is this thing even working? Are you working?
And you know this, man.
Yeah, it's working. There you go. All right, just sure. Making sure. All right, plus tomorrow's Friday, and you know what I love about Friday?
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got to do.
And I ain't got a job. So I got the concert thing, but it's only once a week. I get to work on Monday. Dead & Company is coming into town. Dead & Company is going to be freaking awesome. I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan. And they're doing 2 shows, but I can't work the 31st because if I did, I wouldn't be married because my wife is like, you're not working New Year's Eve. So no, New Year's Eve, I'll be here. And you know what I did last New Year's Eve? Got in all kind of trouble for it, but it was the funnest time I've had. God, man, that sounds crazy. Think about this, man. For all the New Year's Eve parties that I've been to and goofy house parties that you have, and one of the best times I had was last New Year's Eve. I was in a backyard at the fire pit. It was me, my cocktail, and the YouTube comic book community because there was a party going on. It was hella. I got so hammered on New Year's Eve that I ended up buying. You guys know. Anyway, yeah. Do not get drunk in eBay on New Year's Eve, where you'll end up with spending a bunch of don't breathe too deep at that Dead concert, right? You'll end up with a bunch of really expensive books. Yeah. So I won't do that again. But man, the Dead concert's gonna be awesome. Definitely. Come on, man. They can have one song that'll go 20 minutes, and they're just jamming and jamming and jamming and jamming and jamming, and it just goes and goes and goes. Oh man, I gotta go to bed. Gentlemen, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. I'm gonna come back with regular time programming when people are actually awake. And Luis from Mirrors, you was the man. Joey Bag of Sevens, thanks for stopping in. Moltac, you are the man. Thanks for stopping in. Mark Spector Comics says, how many cups? Appreciate you. And of course, Scott Farr. Mark Cuddy Sark popped in. Appreciate it. And who was there? Barbarian Kung Fu popped in. Bob World was here. Agu Ramos was here. And Sam Tangled Web said, I'd like to stay up. He's going to bed, which I am too. So as always, I'm going to roll with this exit little video because I like to put the little end screens over the end of it. And as always, you know what I say? Where's that thing at? Where's it at? There's it at. Okay. Ready? Don't forget, everybody. We had a good time. Peace.